final 3-day strike notice. That's on the front page as well. 2027, Atiku's camp divided amid calls for reform ahead of campaign season. 2027, INEC extends deadline for submission of governorship candidate list. Adedeji, Nigeria will be paying 53 trillion naira subsidy without reforms. That's on the front page of The Guardian today. All right, let's go to the Tribune newspaper this morning. Nigeria out of the woods. Economy shows strong growth and recovery. That's according to the boss of the Nigeria Revenue Service, Zach Adedeji, front page of the Tribune today. 10 blue chip companies post 14.4 trillion revenue, 27.1 trillion tax collected in 7 months. Those are the riders to that story on the front page of the Tribune. Coming to your state, your APC Guba race, Olaniyan Ashanke Alao Bakare reconcile with Ali. That's on the front page. A campaign fund, INEC to deploy technology-driven innovation to monitor political parties. PFIPC reps panel finally meets Adeyemi in police custody. Kogi Police Army comb forest destroy kidnappers' hideout along 𝐒𝐏𝐈𝐒 Road. Nigeria's recurring flood up to 9.12 billion naira lost. 880 billion naira needed for repairs. That's according to a report here on the front page of the Tribune. Osun election, Oyinlola, other PDP leaders endorse APC's 𝐒𝐈𝐕𝐄. I won't disappoint you, says APC Guba candidate, front page of the Tribune today. Let's go to the Independent now. Federal government leverages $4.5 billion facility to anchor fiscal reforms. First Holdco clears a major ownership overhang after 1.15 trillion stake sale. 5,091 persons killed in 3 months. Damning indictment of Tinubu's government, says Atiku. That's on the front page of the Daily Independent this morning. Military airstrikes wound ISWAP. ISWAP commander killed 4 terrorists in Lake Chad. 2027 elections, a court party denies endorsing President Tinubu. Adeleke to Yetola Osun resident to reject any attempt to rig polls. 2027, Serap ask Tinubu, Obi, Atiku others to publish their asset. Girgu Power's revenue squeeze escalate to bond obligation default. Front page of the Independent this morning. All right, let's go to the Vanguard newspaper now. Front page of the Vanguard. Only 6 banks pay 1.27 trillion dividend despite huge profit. Nigeria's economy recovering after painful reforms. That's according to the Nigeria Revenue Service on the front page of the Vanguard today. Nigeria spent 3.1 trillion on domestic debt servicing in the first quarter of this year. That's a report by the Debt Management Office, DMO, on the front page of the Vanguard this morning. Bandits demand 500,000 naira from Benue farmer before harvesting crops. That's on the front page as well. Super Falcons lose automatic World Cup ticket after 1-0 defeat to the Lionesses of Cameroon. That's on the sports side of the Vanguard today. Osun, EFCC and the darkness democracy must never invite. That's an editorial from the Vanguard this morning. Cheap products. Babachir Lawal mocks Atiku's presidential bid. It's a charade. Aggrieved NDC members reject Utomi Galadima Reconciliation Committee. Ibadan meeting, Atiku Obi Kwakunso still have opportunity for Grand Alliance, says Kola Ologbondiyan. Police arrest Osun Commissioner over gunshot at ADC rally. Adeleke kicks, that's on the front page as well. You have no electoral value, Wike mocks Bode George. That's also from the Vanguard today. Lagos Calabar Highway, we stand with Tinubu but don't bypass Ondo Coast. That's according to Afeni Ferry. Attack on Catholic Bishop is attack on the entire church. PFM films. PFN, of course, is the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, front page of the Vanguard today. Let's go to the Daily Post now, front page of the Daily Post. WAFCON 2026, Super Falcons eliminated after 1-0 loss to Cameroon. Military airstrikes wipe out 9 terrorists in Borno, on the front page of the Daily Post this morning. Osun Guba polls, you shouldn't have left PDP for Accord. Okologbo to Adeleke. Benue Assembly Majority Leader defects from APC to PDP. Osun Commissioner released on bail after Elisha APC rally shooting. APC Forum urges North Central first-time governors to sit up ahead of 2027 elections. That's on the front page. Of course, there's more regarding the defeat the Super Falcons suffered yesterday in the hands of the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon on the sports side of the Daily Post. On the business side, NRS boss Adedeji under fire over Nigerian economy comment. Of course, we saw the interview last night and the reactions, some of the statements credited to Dr. Zak Adedeji as, generated. NNPCL reacts to call for Julari Yeson's removal over award of Nigerian oil blocks to cronies. FCCPC resolved 15,000 consumer complaints in Lagos. That's it from the Daily Post this morning. Let's take our first commercial break today. When we get back, we'll be analyzing these stories for you. Do stay with us.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM, 94.9, the antidote to depression.
Before, my family can go 1 week without drama. 1 week, one wahala. Maggie, oh, love, oh, me and Maggie so good together. Yeah, okay, now my Maggie make it right. Come with piece of peace. Oh, no, come at all, oh, before, Maggie, love, oh, me and Maggie so good together. Me and Maggie so good together.
Life no dey stand for one place sake of say person get headache, backache, muscle ache, menstrual pain or toothache. That's na why millions of people dem trust Panadol Extra. Dem don prove in combination for clinic saying dey give extra relief for pain wey tough. If e no be Panadol, e no fit be like Panadol. Make you always dey read the label before una use am. If the symptoms no comot after 3 days, abeg go see your doctor or physician.
Home is where we find comfort in hearts that love. Love that's shared.
Shared meals like delicious jollof and chicken.
Made with hunger. Home is hearts and bellies filled with sizzling chicken stew, ofoha eforivo, jollof rice, pepper soup, proper banga and starch with fresh fish made with hunger.
That's why we say let's go home. There's food at home.
Enjoy the taste of home with the newly improved Onga Chicken Flavor Cube.
The taste of home.
Auntie, you dey enjoy yo, only you. Peppered rice, amala, nkwobi, masa, cake, plus including ice cream. Hey, you get Jesty so?
Jesty? Hey, I dey always hold my Jesty as I dey comot for house so.
Correct. Jesty na the new natural Kankpe bubble powder for one-time relief when chest dey burn you or food no gree waka well for belle. Just add Jesty inside 1 cup of water, mix am, drink am, na carry go be that. Jesty coolele mind as you dey hustle dey go. Jesty now from the house of Gestid. If body not tranga after 3 days, make you see a doctor. Now Rambagzi Nigeria Limited will be some pharma company they market Jesty.
Since inception, almost 100% of Ashesi University students have found jobs, started businesses, or gone on to graduate school within 6 months of graduation. From Accra to Nairobi, London to New York, Ashesi graduates are noticed and are leading successful careers. If you dream of a rewarding life and career, an Ashesi education prepares you just for that. Learn more about applying to Ashesi at ashesi.edu.gh. Remember, admission is ongoing.
èèmọ̀ lókùtù pẹ́bẹ́ àdìo tá ń làwọn màálù tí ń rìn káàkiri láì lóríṣìí yìí níbi ayé lajúdé yìí káwọn kan tó máa da màálù káàkiri ìgboro kó màálù wọnú oko olóko ẹ̀ ń bá ní nǹkan ọ̀sìn ewúrẹ́ tẹ ìdórí màálù ó wá bìkan ṣe lọ́jọ́ kí wọ́n yé rìn káàkiri ìgboro ó ti dòfin o ó ti dìwà ọ̀daràn àti màálù àtẹni ní màálù ni wọ́n jọ jólàǹbà lábẹ́ òfin àjọ tí ń rí sí ìbọ̀wọ̀ fún òfin ohun ìmúlò òfin nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ State Rule of Law Enforcement Authority ló ń ké tantan o àtàtẹ̀yàn tá a wí lọ́rọ̀ tí ò gbọ́ ń bọ̀ wá figbá kéré mú mi kíkan ẹ̀yẹ dá màálù kágboro nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
tó èyí la fi ń kí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa tán wà lórí ìjókòó àkókò ti tó láti gé àkàrà òyìnbó fún ìgbéyàwó tòní.
ètò ìgbéyàwó láyé. ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ dúró náà jàre.
Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀?
Kí wọ́n tó so wá pọ̀ ǹjẹ́ o rántí pé o ṣèlérí tẹlifíṣàn fún mi fíríìjì ńkọ́ ẹ̀rọ ìfọṣọ ìṣe ìlẹ̀ wa máa fọwọ́ fọṣọ ńlẹ̀ ní 2026.
Ní tòótọ́.
káṣá sọ pé ò tí ì rà wọ́n àbí.
Ta ló tiẹ̀ sọ pé mo gbọ́dọ̀ ra gbogbo àwọn nǹkan yìí lẹ́ẹ̀kan ṣo níbi tí CDK wà?
Èwo ló tún jẹ́ CDK báyìí?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o CDK ẹ lè ra fíríìjì yín ẹ̀rọ ìfọṣọ àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
ká kúkú wá gbà pé gbogbo àwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí ti wà nínú ilé rẹ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ bá ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí àbí.
Láti oṣù tó kọjá ni mo ti ra wọn.
Olùṣọ́ àgùntàn ẹ so wá pọ̀.
Pẹ̀lú CDK o lè ra fóònù tẹlifíṣọ̀n ẹ̀rọ amúnáwá tó ń lo agbára ìtànsán-òòrùn àga àti ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn nǹkan mìíràn sanwó díẹ̀díẹ̀ láìsí èlé owó lórí ọjà tó bá rà lọ́dọ̀ wa. Download CDK lórí Play Store àti Apple Store.
Ọ́fíìsì wa wà ní Mọ́kọ́lá Road ní Vetinary bus stop àti Àpáta. Ẹ lè pè wá sórí 0707-460-3911.
CDK sọ díẹ̀díẹ̀ gbẹ́gbẹ́ ayé ìrọ̀rùn.
Start your day and have a good time. Kivo Krima. Even when you need to clear your eyes. Kivo Krima. And when you need to have the break time. Kivo Krima. If not tea, Papa Garita. Kivo Krima. Kivo Krima. Kivo Krima. Kivo Krima.
Good time moments with Kivo Krima.
Kivo Krima.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Thank you for staying with us. Break It Down Papers Review, 32 FM 94.9, your laughter station. It's time for us to break down the stories now. We have Mr. Emil Gonola with us. He's our in-house analyst. He joins us virtually. He's a legal practitioner. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Toba. Good morning.
Great to have you.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Okay, so let's start off with the interview that the boss of the Nigeria's tax authority, now known as the Nigeria Revenue Service, it used to be Federal Inland Revenue Service, Dr. Zach Adedeji, is a chairman. He described the removal of petrol subsidy as the best thing to have happened to Nigeria, saying the president deserves commendation for actually taking that decision. According to him, the positive economic outcome the government is recording are largely a result of the decision to remove the subsidy, which he described as unsustainable and detrimental to the country. He said the subsidy regime had persisted for decades despite its negative impacts on the economy. In fact, the way the Vanguard captured it, he said that we would have been paying 53 trillion on subsidy if the president had not taken that decision. There are lots of things he said, but let's start off with this one, talking about how the president needed to take this bold decision that if it had not been taken, we'll be spending 53 trillion on subsidy. Your thoughts?
Thank you very much, Toba. Well, were you expecting Adedeji to say anything less? Of course, he would say all that he said. But you know that democracy, as described in the books, is not what we see in reality. There is a great discrepancy between theory and practice. All that Adedeji said yesterday were based on theory. He was just looking at figures that they put together themselves. The reality on ground is what the Christian body went to tell Mr. President, and the Muslim body too. I read that they have also gone to say the same thing to him. That's the reality on ground, which is a far cry from the story he was telling, yesterday. What subsidy are they talking about? We have just heard about another energy security, whatever they call it, that the MPC claims to be paying. What is that one? Is it not another name for subsidy? The opaqueness in the operation of the system itself, is quite worrisome. Because, okay, the president says the savings from subsidy are now going to the governors. And yet, the emperors in the states are not allowing it to reflect in the lives of the people. So why don't you put a stop to giving it to them and find better programs you can run that will touch the people directly? So for me, I think economics in the books is a far cry from reality, economic reality. We are talking economic reality here. I heard him talking about the loans, student loans.
Yes.
What student loans are they talking about? Before Tinubu came, our children were paying between 25 to 45,000 naira school fees. Today, it has risen to, for some courses, almost 400,000. And so you are giving them loan. So which loan? Who are you helping? Who is helping who? The children are having to pay more. They are debtors when they have not even graduated. So when you look at all of these things, it's just paper economics.
Yeah.
And that is not working for Nigerians.
Okay, so one of the things he said, to take you back a little, is that, without removing subsidy, that the bill could have risen to about 53 trillion naira, while the exchange rate, that's without floating of the naira, the exchange rate could have reached 3,500 naira to the dollar. I mean, he said this would have been unsustainable for Nigerians. I mean, do you think that decision to float naira to remove subsidy was inevitable in the first place? Because, I mean, imagine if the dollar to naira was 3,500, the kind of shock that would create, and then 53 trillion being paid as subsidy. Do you agree that was inevitable? It had to go.
What really surprised me was the distinction Adedeji was making between flotation of the naira and the devaluation of the currency. According to him, it is not the same thing. But in reality, that is what it is. That is what we see. Because we are now having to pay more for our exports. That is probably why we cannot retain 200 naira per liter of fuel, and we have to be buying fuel at 1,300 or more. So I don't agree with him that floating the naira was not devaluing the currency, from the back door. For as long as Tinubu's administration continues to run the agenda of neoliberals, like the World Bank, like the IMF, this is where we will be. All of this will be stories later. Just what structural adjustment program did to Nigerians. That was the promise they made of a better tomorrow. Where is that better tomorrow? So Tinubu is just saying the same thing Babangida told us, although probably changing the language, but it's the same. I'm not saying that it would not have been a bad idea to have floated the naira because of the discrepancies in the market. But I am more concerned about what is happening in reality on the ground. Because for a country that is import dependent, there is no way we are going to see the gains of this policy unless and until we continue to produce so that our exports, get the benefits that are intended by this so-called floating of the currency. For as long as that happens, we're at a losing end. We're importing virtually everything in this country. Now you can see, even Dangote is complaining. They say they are selling crude in naira. They are the first people to do that. Of what benefit is that to us now? Look at countries like Iran.
Oh, it appears we're losing connection with you. We're losing. Yeah. Hello. It appears we lost connection with you there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Yes, it went off. It went off for a minute there. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
So look at countries like Iran at war, and yet their pump price for fuel remains almost static. What it was 5 years ago is what it still is. Go to Qatar. Go to Saudi Arabia. What makes them different from Nigeria? Are we not all oil-producing countries? What the difference between us is the government in the respective countries. So Adedeji is just saying what is in the books. Reality is a far cry from what he was preaching.
All right, let's go to this other story now from The Guardian. So as we're talking about the reality on ground, the NLC, Nigeria Labour Congress, are also looking at the economic reality, whether or not the current minimum wage is in tandem with what they are facing. Now, the NLC has said it to begin negotiations with the federal government for a new review of the national minimum wage, insisting that the current 70,000 is no longer adequate. Now, this comes as the network of Abuja-led groups also called on Nigerians to rally behind the organized labor to demand for at least 500,000 naira minimum wage, warning that failure by the federal government to reach an agreement could deepen hardship across the country. So, looks like the benchmark that labor is pushing for right now is 500,000 naira. Your thoughts?
Labor is too weak. I have told them severally, how can they be asking for 500,000? Look, let me tell you what is happening now. If government does not know, you can hardly get a 2-bedroom apartment for 750,000 naira, even in Ibadan here.
Yes.
All is running to 1 million, 1 point something million. Forget Lagos. So a 2-bedroom apartment in a good location in Lagos is going for between 6 and 7 million. Who are the people expected to take those rents? Who are the people? Go to the market and see what the markets are saying. I have said that for as long as salary is not at par with what they are earning at the National Assembly, labor should continue to be unresting. That is the truth of the matter. What they are collecting at the National Assembly must be equivalent to what a director is collecting in the ministries, departments, and agencies. If we have not done the needful to harmonize salaries to that level, then let the struggle continue.
But is that a realistic push, though? Because some would say that's a tall order. Really, even the 500,000 naira, some would argue that it's quite huge. Given yes.
When you have abnormal situations, it is abnormal solutions that will cure it. So if government says it wants to drive us out, then we must be the government back to where it came from. That's just the reality. So it is their problem. If you are paying senators and members of reps that much money, it means you have money now. Then why won't you pay us too? You must pay us the same thing. Because what are they doing that is, super normal from what others are doing? As a matter of fact, our civil servants are even doing much more. Why should they not be earning more? So my position has always been this. For as long as they retain that humongous salaries for members of the National Assembly, for that long, labor should remain unresting. They should continue to demand for equality, because you cannot continue to treat equals unequally now. That's not justice.
Right. And this also means, if agreed to, because it's going to be like a tripartite agreement, you have the organized private sector there, because if it's agreed to, it becomes law. That means if you have, a certain number of employees, you are bound by law to obey the Minimum Wage Act. So, some people argue what's the level of productivity, in the market, in the labor market for Nigerians, both on the government and the private sector side. Also looking at the harsh economic climate that those in the private sector operate. You talk about cost of operations. You mentioned importation earlier. Some of them have to import some of the things that they use, cost of fuel and all of that. So isn't that demanding too much? Because we are just looking at the government side. There's also the organized private sector side. There's also the side of the state government as well. Again, is 500,000 a realistic figure looking at some of these metrics I highlighted?
500,000 is too low to meet the demands of the times. Go and look at how much our children have to pay for education. All their so-called student loans. What is the percentage of the loan they are getting to what the government is demanding from them? Public schools are no-go areas. Private schools, look at what is happening there. How much they are charging our children under a government. So what is unrealistic about what they are demanding? What they are demanding is the realistic figure. To make people must live, not merely exist. Under the present situation, they are existing. And so if government continues to make the environment unconducive for the private sector to operate, they will close shop now.
All right, let's take this commercial break. We'll get back onto in the conversation. Remember, we're live on Facebook, 32FM 949 FM. Just stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
32FM 94.9.
Before, my family can go 1 week without drama. 1 week, 1 wahala. Maggie, oh, love, oh, me and Maggie so good together. Yeah. Okay, now my Maggie, they keep right. Come with peace, oh, peace, oh. Wanna come at all, oh, before. Maggie, oh, love, oh, me and Maggie so good together. Me and Maggie so good together.
Kò ní sú mi kò ní rẹ̀. Má jẹ́ ó sú ẹ láti máa gbọ́ wa àti láti tẹ̀lé wa lórí gbogbo ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ 32FM 949 ẹ̀yìn ẹ̀. Kò ní sú mi kò ní rẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Life no dey stand for one place sake of say person get headache, backache, muscle ache, menstrual pain or toothache. That's na why millions of people dem trust Panadol Extra. Dem don prove in combination for clinic saying dey give extra relief for pain wey tough. If e no be Panadol, e no fit be like Panadol. Make you always dey read the label before una use am. If the symptoms no comot after 3 days, abeg go see your doctor or physician.
No, the smoky jollof, firewood cook smoky flavor. The aroma so inviting, smoky jollof so delicious.
Neil Derica's Smoky Jollof Tomato Seasoning Mix. So smoky, just like Mama's.
And my memories came alive. Derica, so smoky jollof. Derica, smoky jollof, just like Mama's.
Start your day and have a good time.
Ħkibu Krima.
Even when you need to clear your eyes.
Ħkibu Krima.
And when you need to have the break time.
Ħkibu Krima.
If not tea, Papa Garita.
Ħkibu Krima. Ħkibu Krima. Ħkibu Krima. Ħkibu Krima.
Good time moments with 𝐃𝐈𝐒 Krima.
Ħkibu Krima.
Home is where we find comfort in hearts that love. Love that's shared.
Shared meals like delicious jollof and chicken.
Made with hunger. Home is hearts and bellies filled with sizzling chicken stew, ofoha eforivo, jollof rice, pepper soup, proper banga and starch with fresh fish made with hunger.
That's why we say, let's go home. There's food at home.
Enjoy the taste of home with the newly improved 𝐿 chicken flavor cube.
The taste of home.
Say after me. Millions
millions of naira shall locate us as we take part in the Milo Text and Win promo.
Millions of naira shall locate us as we take part in the Milo Text and Win promo.
Get texting. More than 2 million people will share billions in cash and prizes, including 6 brand new cars. Buy any 20-gram Milo promo sachet. Find a unique code inside. Then dial star 8011 star 4 hash or scan the QR code on the pack and you could win big. Buy more, win more. Promo starts July 1st to October. Milo.
Ibadan Amala Fest 2026 is here. Let's eat and celebrate. When the rhythm drops, the taste buds dance. The biggest celebration of our heritage is back. 32 FM 94.9 proudly presents the Ultimate Food Festival, Amala Fest 2026, the second edition. Mark your calendars. Get ready for an explosion of culture, music, and endless flow of authentic Amala. Whether you like it dark and rich or light and fluffy, we've got you covered. Paired with the ultimate soup combinations, Ewedu, Begiri, Ila, and rich Eforiro. And let's not forget the assorted proteins, freshly cooked meat, tender pomo, and savory fish, all swimming in mouth-watering stew. Taste the best from the most legendary Amala spots across the region, from Bibi Ray Food Canteen to the famous Iya Dija Alamala at Deoyo and the iconic Iya Oyo Alamala Gbaremu Market, and so many more. But wait, there's more. Show us what you've got in our exciting food challenges, the ultimate Amala Eater, who can finish a mountain of Amala in record time, the Amala Pounding Master, the ultimate test of strength for the best texture, the fast eating champion, speed, precision, and pure appetite. To participate, pick up your form at Laughter House, Mokola, Ibadan. Venue for the event, the Recreation Club opposite Adamasiba, Ibadan. Date, August 29th, 2026. Come ready to eat, laugh, and celebrate the rich taste of Yoruba culture. Get your tickets now at Laughter House for just 3,000 naira or call us directly on 0806 218 5194. Amala Fest 2026, proudly sponsored by Rego and Maggie. Me and Maggie, so good together.
Happiness is a choice that we want you to make always. Choose to be happy. Choose 32 FM 94.9 Ibadan.
Thank you for staying with us. 6 minutes past 7 o'clock, 32 FM 94.9, your laughter station, broadcasting live from our location at Laughter House, Premier Hill, Mokola, Ibadan. We're live on Facebook, by the way, 32 FM 949 FM. Drop your comment, like, and share the video. If you're just joining us, what we're doing is taking a look at the various stories making headlines across the dailies this morning. We're also helping you break down the story so you can understand the issues beyond the headlines. Our analyst is still with us virtually. So quickly, let's go to this report concerning the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, is challenging those who are criticizing the project to a debate, saying that he's ready to provide any information that they require. Spoke yesterday during a press conference and its stakeholders' engagement on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, saying the road will open up the country's economy. Now, he responded to those who are saying that the road will not pass Ekpe. In fact, he says we have even gone past Ekpe. He said they are in Ondo presently. Lot 1 has been completed. Lot 2 is over 80% done. We've done over 30% of the job in Calabar and Akwa Ibom, and we've also started a large section, 180 kilometer by 2. He says we're just left with Bayelsa. We're just left with the Bayelsa section, Delta Rivers, and then the Edo section. He says he doesn't blame those who think it is impossible, because the president, according to him, has been doing the impossible because God brought him into Nigeria. So what do you make of Dave Umahi's explanation? Perhaps those who are criticizing the project, as he has said, don't have enough information. He's saying, look, I'm waiting for a debate on this. I want to educate people on this project. We have disappointed those who are doubting us, saying that the project will not pass Ekpe. In fact, we've gone beyond Ekpe. We are presently in Ondo State. We have gone past this. We have just about 5 states left for this project to be completed. Your thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear you now. Yes, yes.
You know, Nigeria is indeed a very, very funny country. Sorry, I have to take you back to the first story we touched. It was the same thing we heard Adedeji saying. You know, he kept on referring to civil servants as the common Nigerians, the questions that were being posed to him. So to him, civil servants are the common Nigerians. I don't know if he is aware that the population of civil servants, the total population of civil servants put together, federal and states and local governments, is less than 5%. So if 5% is what he is referring to as commoners, then he has missed the point. Nobody will say the Lagos-Calabar road is not a good project. What people are saying is this: your children are out of school. They are at home because you cannot pay their school fees, and yet you are building a mansion. That's the question that is being posed to government. So who are you building the road for? Who are the people who are going to be riding on the roads? That's the question we are posing. We are not saying that it is not a good thing to have a road from Lagos to Calabar, to have a road from Sokoto to Badagry. Yeah. No, I don't think any Nigerian is saying that. But we are saying, who are you building the roads for? Because if you don't develop your human capital, then all of those infrastructures are useless. Look at what, have you seen what is happening? There was the news that trended last week. Abokis are going under bridges and tearing the pillars down, to remove the iron, to go and sell, to eat. So, what benefit is that bridge? By the time they finish, what will happen? The bridge will come down, and everything you have invested on it will be a waste.
Doesn't that speak to the responsibility of those who are doing this? Because, can we blame hunger every time? Can we say that because people are hungry, we can excuse their irresponsible behavior? Because that bridge has been serving a purpose, in terms of ease of transportation, access, and all of that. So, can we excuse their behavior?
You have forgotten what Awolowo said. Please, never forget what Awolowo said. Always keep it, at the back of your mind, because it is what will happen if you don't train your children. I'm a lawyer. I see a lot of things.
Yes.
People who acquired so much wealth but did not give enough training to their children. They are selling all those properties. Some are selling them like akara. Now, that's what we're saying. Your own children, Toba, will not go under the bridge and be doing that. My own children will not do that. But there are some children that are not catered for. Their parents look, like Adedeji said now. Adedeji is referring to civil servants as commoners. So what happens to the 95%? Okay, let us even give allowance for those of them who are holding political offices and all that. What about the other Nigerians? Are they not entitled to the democratic, what do you call it? Derivatives or whatever, or dividends? Are they not entitled? Because from what Adedeji was saying yesterday, majority of Nigerians are shut out from their program. They refer to commoners as civil servants. How many people are civil servants?
Right. I want us to.
They are not being catered for.
Yeah, I want to go back to this 𝐷𝐈𝐒 story again, because the different arguments I've seen about it is that, well, as much as we want to talk about human capital development, that we cannot also relegate the role of infrastructure. For instance, there are villages and coastal cities that this road, some have argued, will open up, and when you open up the economy, that means that those spaces which were either through ungoverned or unknown will have access to the development and all of that. There are those who argue that some of the communities where we've seen kidnapping and all of that is because there's absence of infrastructure, that these infrastructures too are very important, So from what the minister said, he said this road is designed to connect Lagos to Cross River. It will pass through Ogun State, Ondo, Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, and Akwa Ibom before culminating in Cross River. I'm just imagining some ungoverned spaces in those areas that will be opened up as a result of this infrastructure. Perhaps that's one of the positives we should look at here. What do you think?
I have just told you something. There is nothing really wrong about that road. But something is fundamental wrong if we don't bring the people up to the standard of people entitled to use the road. Look at social media, for instance. Do you know what social media is doing in some countries? But look at what is happening in Nigeria. Social media is now an avenue for Yahoo, for all kinds of criminality for our children. Why should that be so? The same thing. AI is taking a new, leap. But like we lost during the agricultural revolution, during the industrial revolution, we are losing again this information age because we are not using the new innovations for legitimate improvements of our society. We have not developed our children yet. This is the problem we're having. It's like somebody who, for the first time, is going to use the modern toilet system. And what does he do? He stands on the bowl to pass out whatever he is passing out because he doesn't understand the system. It is always better to train people so that they can better appreciate, what the innovations you are bringing into their lives. And that is the value that education gives. If you have children that you have not trained, and then you go and build a mansion, gold, everything. Look, I will not mention the man's name.
Yeah.
He's a great man in Nigeria. The house he has around Isaac John in Lagos, if you bring the King of England, he will feel very, very comfortable. When the man died, one of his sons who inherited the house, do you know what he did? First, he removed all the air conditioners in the house. He went to sell them. All the furniture in the house, he went to sell them. Then he partitioned the house into shokolo cubicles. Even the swimming pool, he partitioned it into those shokolo things. Guess who he brought there? All the gatemen, all the house helps, all the housemaids living around Isaac John were the ones that were coming to rent a place there. That's exactly what I am saying.
Right.
Whose fault now? The father who built that fantastic house without first training his child? So this is the problem. Nobody in his right senses will say, having a road from Lagos to Calabar is a bad idea. No, nobody will do that. Some time ago, a long time ago, during Babangida's era, I was in Mina. As a matter of fact, I had gone to see Babangida then.
Wow.
And then I saw the housing estate, that Babangida built. Mina was very, very beautiful. Duplexes and all that. Guess what? The people they were allocated to, they had their cows. They were sitting down with their cows outside. Outside those houses, the people that were allocated the houses. You can imagine what the inside will be with that set of people.
Right.
That's what we are saying.
Right.
I'm not saying that infrastructure is not good. It is good.
Right.
It is part of what we need to make the environment conducive for business, for living, for everything. But there is the need to bring up your people so that they can appreciate it.
Right.
Go look at Lagos. I was hearing a report yesterday. All the solar lights, street lights, they are being removed.
Okay.
All the aluminium that was used to build those bridges, they are gone.
Okay. Let's take some calls now. 0906 2000 949 0705 5000 949. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
I put you brilliant analyst. Thank you, sir. You see, nobody will not like to pay tax if there is a enabling environment. At least before you can collect something from me, I must see what you are using that money to do. But when it comes to the economy, if Nigeria's economy is like this, You can't just be embarking on giant projects without addressing the issue before the giant project. We are leaving the root cause of the problems. We just have to, it's a process. So, Lagos to Calabar is a very good project. Fine, beautiful. But is it what we need now? That is my submission. Good morning.
All right. Good morning. All right, 0906 2009 49. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Ade from UI.
Welcome.
My own advice this morning is just to the people of Osun State not to be deterred by the caliber of people endorsing a particular candidate. Ordinary that's the nature of South Africans generally. Somebody like me, if I have become a former governor, if I have become a former deputy governor, and I even spend money on primary and they post somebody on me, I should be honorable. I should be honorable enough, able to let them know. But in Africa, you will not even think of the money you have. If they still give you money, you will not have to say, what do you even need the money for? Considering your age. So that's a kind of group cabal ganging up against the country, and that's how they want to be rolling themselves and their children. But people of Osun State can hijack themselves from their hands. That's the best of today.
All right, 0906 200949, 0705 500949, 0809 7949. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Larry Hekins. One thing is that I want our people who always contribute, and even part of your people who are viewers, to be very, very positive sometimes when we are criticizing. They'll be too critical. I have never heard anybody saying something right or something very beneficial about some of the program of the government, even from the days immemorial. Everybody has a plan. They have their own, focus. And when they're planning it, the good aspect of it, say good about it. Not just criticizing just negatively. Are we telling all those government have not been contributing something good? Please, maybe sometimes you educate us, and when we see the good, let's commend. When we see the bad, let's commend. There's nothing some of these people have been saying to commend the government for what they have been doing. Let's be very, very commendable sometimes.
Right.
Commend some of these program of the government.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
my home, okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah.
John Lanwadi speaking from Mali.
Welcome.
Yesterday, I did this factor. When I just comment sometimes I don't even surprise when anyone that working with Mr. President making comment, and they will try to justify the government effort and the government policy, how it works. But the question I will ask is that the policy of this government and the system of this government, who is working for? If for the masses, even the civil servants that YUSUF mentioned, what is the standard life of the civil servants without even mentioning the citizens? What are their standards? And they even interviewed the civil servants and said that they were living a life that's supposed to be. Yes, you know, who citizens. Any reform or any policy that is not reflect positive in the life of the citizens, but only reflects it in the life of those in power, that is a bad policy. Government is not for them that in the power. Government is for the people of the country. So if your policy is not affecting my life positively, it's only affecting your life positively. You are the one that riding the big house. You are the one that lives to enjoy this life. You are the one that enjoys all the goodies. And I'm not enjoying anything. And you are telling me your policy is okay. I think I align myself with the barrister there. You are building the coastal road and you are not building me. Don't you think that I can go to coastal road and destroy everything? Right. I can protect the coastal road and put anything there. You have to build me. If you build me, how do you build the way that you do all these things? That's what the barrister is saying. Right. The policy is not for the man. He said, yes. Thank you and good morning.
All right, thank you.
Toba,
yes.
Please, can you allow me to respond to that my brother that called earlier.
Okay.
That we are always criticizing and not encouraging government.
Yeah.
Look, do you know something, my brother? Criticism is the best way of keeping government on its toes. I can assure you that many of the criticisms that come on radio, TV, and paper affects policies of government. They consider what we have said, and where possible, they make amends. If you have been listening to this radio, for instance, you will see the level of commendation that has been going to the Tinubu-led government in the fight against insurgency, terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping.
Right.
We are encouraging our military to do more.
Right. Let's see
because unlike before, we are getting good results. If there are good things, why not? We will encourage government.
Let's take this last one. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Yeah. Concerning what Zachary, the NRS boss, was saying yesterday on the Channel TV, the guy is trying to, he's trying to tell us the untrue part, the untrue story of the reality. Do you know that as we speak today, the subsidy removal, though it has made the government to have a kind of to accrue more money to themselves so that they're able to give more money to state governors. But how much more? How much Nigeria? What is the kind of living of Nigeria? How much more are we able to live so that if you have a 10,000 naira in our hand, it's food to last us, a family of 3 or 4. Can 10,000 naira last us for a day or 2 days just for feeding? If you want to make a delicious meal, can 10,000 naira last you? So that's what we are saying. What Agat was saying, just a paper, a documented paper, written by someone.
Right.
But how about the reality? So I think what Zach said yesterday is totally out of it. Nigerians are suffering.
All right, thank you. All right, let's go to Facebook, read some comments now. Samson Ademowagun says, good morning to you in the studio. President Bola Tinubu economic policy has failed because we are in serious debt under his administration, and there is an increase in poverty because when there's increase in fuel pump price, citizens will suffer because fuel determines everything in Nigeria. Sulaiman Sheriff says, good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. This time around, the endorsement of a particular party or political realignment doesn't win an election. The desperate party is only good at grabbing power by force and messing with it after. Give them free and fair election in Osun State and see where the people stand. Dr. Mrs. Umar Lebara from Owerri says, this is the time for reform because the clamor for it soars higher each passing. The economic reform ought to be a human-faced package to better the lots of the living when it translates to starving, impoverishing, and traumatizing the masses to death, then it is for the dead, not the living. Who then will reform this land? Only reform-minded and reform-involved persons can reform Nigeria, which with majority of the citizens are yearning for. Okay, Oluwaseun Root says the current administration has failed to deliver on its promises. The removal of subsidy was meant to bring relief to Nigerians, but the reality is that things are getting worse. Government borrowing is rising without enough tangible results. The government must think beyond the usual approach, take bold action, and focus on what really matters to the people. Thank you, dear listener, for joining us on People's Review. Thank you for your comments and your calls. Thank you to our analysts as well, Mr. Amir Gunola. Thank you so much. Your final thought as we wrap up this morning.
I want to commend the lady from Owerri.
Yes.
I think she spoke the mind of the majority.
Right. Thank you so much. Don't forget to join us tomorrow, 6:30 to 7:30. Every weekday, actually, 6:30 to 7:30, and on Saturday, 6 to 7 a.m. Stay tuned to your laughter station. And tomorrow we'll be here on the Smart Kids Show at 7:30. My name is OLORUNTOBA YUSUF. Enjoy the rest of your Monday morning. Bye for now.